talk about the project that we're going to be doing in science. So this is what I made on the fly randomly. And you may not have dowels, like these wooden pieces, at home, and that's totally okay. Just find a stick that is relatively sturdy. So like this guy would not work because it can do the wave. All right. Find something sturdy enough to hold it. If for whatever reason you can't find anything sturdy enough to be like your base beams, I have a bunch at school. And so if you can make it into school, I will put a bunch out at that front table there. You just need to email me and I will talk with the office ladies about it. But everything else that you dangle from your mobile needs to be something from outside. Okay? It can be a leaf, it can be a rock. If you find a piece of plastic, some of you might still have like sand toys from little siblings outside. A four-wheeler is not going to be able to dangle from a small stick though. So think about it in a logical and relatively like realistic way to hang something from our mobiles. Okay, and so as you can see, I have a bunch of tape on mine right now, and I'm trying to get to stop spinning so I can actually explain this. And so my pieces are attached by fishing twine or line, and so you can't really see it. Bummer on my part. And so if whatever type of string you have works, you don't have to use fishing line like I did. And so all of my pieces, for the most part, each part has a layer to it. And I believe that my requirements for your project were 2 to 3 layers. I would not go any higher than 3 because it gets kind of insane and gets kind of crazy. And I was getting irritated with it as I was making just the 3-tiered one. So I can only imagine some of you low-tempered friends or relatively impatient friends cranking through this and getting mad at it and having a parent do it. So let's skip that part. And so as you can see, my different levels or layers are balanced, meaning that the force holding it and the weight or the mass coming down from each side of each layer is equal. And so the net force on each one of these dowels is 0. Okay, and that is our goal for this project, to try and balance our mobiles. Obviously, there's going to be unbalanced forces. Occasionally, it's going to bounce up and down. And I will talk about how to fix it as you go through it, but how to assemble it. And so what I did was I started from the first or the lowest layer that you want to put in your mobile. Okay, I attached a string to the top part where I'm going to attach to the second layer, just so I know where it is. And then I started adding the different things to my first or my lowest layer. Okay, as I added different things, I would use that middle string that I had put on it. Okay, so say this is my base layer or my lowest layer. Okay, I would have a string coming out of the top. That would be my middle string. And then I would add strings coming down. We're gonna make a flower. Okay, pretend there's a flower attached to that one. And so when I place this object, I have to be able to move it slightly and adjust it so that it stays balanced. Because if I do this and I move one part of my mobile over, it unbalances that lower level, okay, and gives it a slant to it. But if I adjust it and move my string to the other, back to where it was, which might take forever to get there. My forces then become equal, and the net force on that dowel becomes 0, just by me moving it back and forth. Okay, and so I'm really good at drawing, guys, if you can't tell. Okay, so now I have my lower layer ready to go. Now here's where it gets kind of crazy. We're gonna add our second layer, okay? And so I decided to go be a little bit on the overachiever side of things. I decided to kind of be an overachiever on this and made mine kind of off-centered. I don't know if you've seen those tables where it's just connected by chains and to the bottom part, or the like part that's touching the floor, to the part that touches the top. I'll show you a picture of it at some point when you guys get back. But it's really cool how it just holds on by the forces versus using like legs for the table. Anyway, so I decided to put my one string really close to the end of this dowel and not put 2 different items on each side. Instead, I'm just going to put something on this end and adjust it so it balances out in the end. And so that's why I have this long branch over here. Okay. So I'm going to pretend that this is the branch that I put on. And then I have my top layer. And so I did something similar with this one as well. Okay. And so I have my top one that goes up like this. Okay. And just like my second layer, I didn't put 2 different things on it. I only put the one. But this goes pretty far over. Okay. Pretend it's going through all of my words here. And so I have a very long string that comes down to a pine cone and some pine needles. Okay. Leaf and a flower. Okay. And so just like the other ones, I had to adjust it so that my force on my final or my third layer was balanced or had a net 0 force on it. Okay. And as you can see, mine's kind of unbalanced right now. And so in order to adjust this, I've had to go multiple times back and forth to get it to work. And so if I move my string too far towards me, then the balance gets put off and the force is pulled on the string with the pine cone. Okay, but if I move it too close to the middle or the center of this mobile, then it goes up like this towards the mobile itself. And so play around with it. I had to hang something up from it, so I have a middle string up here that connects to stuff. Okay, use that to kind of help balance this last layer of your mobile. Okay. Another thing that kind of helps as you make this is to draw it out. Plan before you actually make it. Okay, so this gave me an idea of like how I wanted that centered line to kind of hold it up. Okay, and that's where it ended up coming out to look like this. You can see it moves on its own. It's gonna bounce up and down a lot. I just have to fix some of my, so adjust it until it balances. Obviously, when you bring it home or bring it to school, it's not going to be the same, and that's okay. We can always fix it. If you're having a lot of difficulties getting it balanced, but you have like all the items like attached to it, bring it into school. I'll help you fix it, okay? Don't sit there and get angry at it. Just bring it in. It's not the end of the world. If yours is too big to like bring on the bus, or you don't want to bring it on the bus, take a picture of it, and then I will create like a Dropbox where you can submit things to Schoology, okay? Or you can email me. But that's what you need to bring on the 23rd if you're a purple group person, or the white group person needs to bring it on the 24th, and that is when your project is due. There will be a rubric on Schoology with this video. Take a look at it. It tells you what you need to have on it. Like mine has a theme of being white pine needles and pine cones. I don't know. Come up with something. I don't know. Whatever you have at home, put it on there, throw it together. Okay, but make sure it's nothing that is valuable or something that your parents really love, because we aren't doing that. Again, if you need supplies, like if you don't have scissors, you don't have string, you don't have that stuff, communicate and let me know and we'll figure it out. All right? Good luck and have a good day.